In today's video, we are going to tell you how to get started on carnivore in 2025. Qualified to do this?
We are qualified. He is well over 600 and some days. I am over almost 300 days right now.
I'm filming a documentary called Healing Humanity, The Power of a Proper Human Diet. We have interviewed over 40 people doing a carnivore diet, overcoming incredible health changes. We filmed all of the good doctors, including Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Anthony Chaffee, Dr. Robert Kiltz, one of my favorites, Dr. Tony Hampton, they're all my favorites. Dr. Philip Ovadi, a heart surgeon, has been performed thousands of heart surgeries. He's been eating carnivore for, I think, over 10 years now. Dr. Sean Baker wrote the book on carnivore. We interviewed him. Dr. Georgia Eid, Professor Thomas Seyfried, who's been talking about cancer as a metabolic disease for 30 years now. We have interviewed all of them, and we're wrapping up this documentary very soon. Learn more at healinghumanity.movie. But that's what qualifies us, as well as we are walking the walk. Carnivore has saved my life, and that is why I'm so passionate about this. I overcame sleep apnea, arthritis, gout. I no longer have IBS. I don't snore at night anymore. I had so many stomach issues for so many years. I was on so much medication. My biggest issue was depression and anxiety, which is completely reversed on carnivore. I've also reversed my congestive heart failure. Frankly, I'm pissed off about all of this, and that's why I'm so passionate about it. I'm mad because I was so sick for so long and it was all so simple. Nobody ever treated the root cause of the problem. Every doctor I ever had never asked me about nutrition, and every problem I had, and I will say this, almost every health problem in the world, other than if you fall out of a tree and break a leg, is a result of your nutrition. And even if you fall out of a tree and break your leg, probably your nutrition too, because you had a brain fog and you were doing something foolish because you weren't thinking straight. Carnivore's changed my life. That's why I'm so passionate about it. So my first advice for you on carnivore, this is the first thing you need to do. Educate yourself. You are scared to start carnivore. You should be. It's weird. It's against the grain. Maybe you're concerned about carnivore and heart disease. Maybe you're concerned about carnivore and gout or fiber or any of these things. The beauty is all of this information is freely available to you. You don't have to pay. This isn't like some diet program like Weight Watchers that you watch your weight for the next 30 years and you never lose a pound. This is all free information. Google Ken Berry, carnivore and gout. Google Anthony Chaffee. Google Dr. Philip Ovadi, carnivore and heart disease. All of your questions have been asked and answered, but you need to be comfortable before you get started, so do your research. That's my number one. What do you got for number two?
Number two, I'm going to speak from my experience, is baby steps. I think that's really huge, is baby steps. I saw him thriving on carnivore. I was a vegetarian my whole life. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try it. He looked at me, he's like, you serious? I said, yep. And then that day I did it, and I tried for 2 weeks, and I failed. Why did I fail? Because I jumped into it. I didn't realize that my body needed to adjust. So I would say baby steps is one thing. Try keto, which is...
That's your baby step, is you start with keto.
Yeah.
And then maybe move into...
To ketovore.
So when we say keto, I would say do 20 carbs or less of keto if you're going from the standard American diet. Then you go to... Ketovore, which is 10 carbs or less. And then you go to carnivore.
Yep.
If you just go straight into carnivore, a lot of people do it anyways. Your gut bacteria, gut biome is going to take a huge hit. You're going to be in the toilet for a long time, and it's going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have the keto flu, and it could be a lot easier if you baby step into it. So that is your number two. Take baby steps.
Yes.
My number three. Quick interruption. Did you know we have an incredible membership site for you called healinghumanity.life? We have a special offer going on right now. Learn more at the link in the description. We have courses, we have expert Q&As with the good doctors. We even have a Healing Humanity Heroes Zoom call once a week, highlighting real heroes that will inspire you on a path to healing. The community is wonderful. We're going to be implementing a buddy system so you can be held accountable, recipes, all sorts of great stuff to help you on a path to healing. Learn more at the link in the description below. Getting started on carnivore diet in 2025, number three tip is this. Go out. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. You could spend $1 on this item and it could change your life forever. Buy a notebook, a journal, something. Do it. Don't just say you're going to do it. Don't just say, oh, I don't need to do it. do it. If you are intentional and write down your goals in a journal, it will be so much more effective. I want you to commit to a journal for the first 30 days you're doing carnivore. I want you to write down on page 1, what is your why? What is the reason? And now for a lot of people, it's to lose some weight, which is kind of unfortunate, but I don't care. If that's your reason, write that down. What you will find, I promise you, is that so much more is going to heal than you would ever imagine beyond the weight loss. But write down your particular why, and then write down for 30 days how you're doing. What did you eat today and how did you feel? What did you eat tomorrow and how did you feel? Write all of that down. If you have goals and you're intentional and you put a pen to paper, it is far more likely to succeed at those goals versus if you're just willy-nilly and you're just thinking about it in your head.
4 is invest in something else. My biggest thing was before and after pictures. They're great, but it's also knowing your weight, which I always when I did Weight Watchers and counting my calories and OMED and all those other ones that never worked for me, I always weighed myself every day, which is so stupid because you fluctuate. Investing in a really good weight
Smart scale.
Yes. Sorry.
Get yourself a smart scale.
Because
now, you don't have to, right? Like if you're broke and you don't have money, but if you have some money, the better advice is, which you've said before, don't weigh yourself every day and rely 100% on the weight-only scale. Because what happens?
Because it fluctuates. You go up and down, and then you maybe stall out, and you're at a certain amount, and it's at
in quotes. Stall out in quotes.
Yeah.
You may stall out in quotes if you use a weight-only scale, and you're like, I was losing a bunch of weight when I started, and now I'm stalled out.
Yes.
But what is happening in reality?
Gaining muscle. You are gaining bone. We had this conversation a couple days ago on a call, and I didn't really think about it until somebody said it, but you actually are regenerating your bones. I'm like, I never thought that was possible, but yes, you actually are.
So these smart scales now, they're like, you can get one for $40, $50 on Amazon. I'm not selling it to you. You Google it, whatever. You don't even use an affiliate link. And it will tell you your body composition, and they're pretty darn accurate. The technology is incredible. It'll tell you how much fat you've lost. It'll tell you muscle, and it will tell you bone. Yeah. And we had someone on the other day, and he's like, if I just looked at the weight-only scale, it would say 0. But I look at this, and I see that, no, I lost fat, but I gained muscle. Muscle is heavier than fat. The scale shows a 0, but he's making incredible progress. So smart scale is a tip. And if you can't afford a smart scale, don't rely so much on just the weight-only scale. Realize what we're telling you, that these stalls aren't really stalls. And then third to that is measure. Yeah. You can get a little tape measure on Amazon. How much are those?
A couple bucks. I mean,
$3.
You can even go to Walmart and pick one up or anything. But another tip for that is they do have smart ones too, where it actually is like a little scale thing. You put it around your arm. It's just like a regular tape measure, but it goes onto your phone, so that is so cool. You can take your measurement and it will automatically put it on for you.
And then you have something very valuable, data.
And you see it. So you start way up here, and you see it going down. You're like, oh my gosh, it's working, it's working, it's working.
And what will happen is when you rely on the weight-only scale and you see those big zeros and you think you're failing, then you take the measurement and you're like, my weight hasn't changed, but my waist circumference has reduced. Exactly. My muscles in my arm have increased. And so those little measures, even if you don't get the Bluetooth one like you just mentioned, you can get one for $3 or $4. They wrap around your arm, you push a little button and it takes minimal time to measure yourself.
You can do it yourself. You don't need somebody to help you. Even if you do it just for you, that is so important.
Invaluable data.
Yeah, and especially years down the road or months down the road, and you want to look and you're like, oh my gosh, like for me, I lost 40 pounds. I'm not in it for the weight. I've lost 40 pounds. I'm kind of at a stall. But again, it's not a stall. I'm gaining muscle. I'm going to the gym. I'm eating better. So it's just so important that you go out and that you do that.
My tip number 5 is this. Shout out my good friend, Dr. Robert Kiltz. It should be called Fativore. So many people that have problems on carnivore are because they are not consuming an adequate amount of fat.
Right.
I get so many people, this drives me nuts. I feel bad because they didn't do their research, which by the way, if you take a look back, what was my first suggestion? Do your research. You have fears, do your research. There's videos on getting started right on carnivore. It's all about fat. There's a lot of people like, I'm doing carnivore and I'm not succeeding. And then I talk to them more and they're eating chicken and they're eating fish and they're not getting any fat. It should be called fativore. And beef fat is the best fat you can get. But if you don't like that or you can't get enough, butter is another fat that you can supplement with.
Yep.
You're tired, you're fatigued. I guarantee it's because you're not getting enough fat. One other thing I'll say in terms of getting started and doing things right, because it's not as simple as just eating meat. We have a Carnivore Foundations course that I put together, I worked very hard on, and it is in our membership site, which is healinghumanity.life. And I'm mentioning this right now because we have 50% off. And there's a link in the description below. You use promo code HH24 at healinghumanity.life. You'll get 50% off your first month, and you get full access to that course. So for 15 bucks, you get access to that course, and then you can just quit. You can cancel anytime. But we have a ton of other courses, like our Wounded Warriors course, our Liver Detox course. You can take all those at your own pace. We do 5 or 6 Zoom calls per week. We got Dr. Kiltz coming on as an expert. We have Dr. Baker coming on. We do a carnivore Q&A. We do an inspiration call where we inspire you. We do breaking addictions where you can have a buddy system. You can have a partner, like the 12-step program for food addiction. All of this is included with healinghumanity.life. So that is Jen's next tip. 6, I believe. Okay, we're going to lose track, but she's going to say 6. Jen's next tip, I'm going to remind her, was community. Talk about that.
Oh my gosh, that is so important. Like I was just going to add on to the Healing Humanity. I did a few Zoom calls with some people, and there was a lady that was on there, and she was like me. I was very shy. I was very quiet. I wouldn't talk. She stayed on the call after it ended, and we would all just talk together. The community is so, so amazing.
Number 7, here's a big one. Realize this. Realize this. You are, I am, Jen is, we all are addicted to the sugar and the standard American diet and all of this food. And none of you watching this right now should have any shame at the fact that you're addicted. I don't have any shame that I'm addicted. My mom was addicted, and her mom was addicted, and my mom normalized it, and I normalized it, and we did it with our kids. We didn't know any better, but now you know better. And if you don't believe me on this whole addiction thing and you think I'm being dramatic, think about this. I know you. How many times have you yo-yo dieted throughout your entire life? Think about that. The reason for that isn't because you're a failure or you're a failed human. The reason for that is because you were addicted and you never admitted it. And you lost some weight by abstaining, and then you went back and you tried to moderate your addiction, and you cannot moderate an addiction. Had you quit cocaine or alcohol after, say, like me, 42 years of horrible addiction to it, and it saved your life forever, you wouldn't then go back to moderately using cocaine or alcohol. You would abstain forever. And that is what we do on the carnivore diet. We are abstaining from these highly addictive foods. The other reason, Jen, we shouldn't be ashamed is because it's so addictive.
And it's everything.
These big food companies pay millions, if not billions of dollars to have people engineer this food to be even more addictive than it is, with stuff that'll affect your hormones, for example, stuff that'll affect dopamine in your brain. It is highly addictive. So understand that you are addicted and that you shouldn't moderate, and that is the saving grace of carnivore. I've been doing this 600 days. Once you get over that addiction, it's gone forever. It is literally gone forever, and carnivore becomes so much easier. This is the big one. This is you. This is you. I'm looking at you right now. You look in the mirror. You are responsible for yourself. Don't make any excuses if you're going to start this. You're going to do carnivore. I want you to do it for 30 days. I want you to do it as we described here. Ease into it. But when you start it, do it for 30 days and do it. Do it. Don't half do it. Don't say I did good all week. Now I'm going to have some cake. That's not how carnivore works. Your body is either in ketosis or not. And it can take a week to get fat adapted and in ketosis. And if you have a little cheat on Saturday, you could kick your body out for another week, and then you have another cheat on Saturday. You're never getting in ketosis. You're never reaping the benefits. Get rid of the artificial sweeteners and the sugars. This is what carnivore is. It is 100% natural. No boxes, no bags, no thousands of different ingredients. Return to what is natural strictly for 30 days, but you do it. Now, if your spouse isn't on board with you, that is no excuse. I did this myself for a long time before you started. Even if your spouse is eating regular meals, you have protein in those meals. You can make larger versions of the protein. They can eat their potatoes and their garbage food on the side, and you eat your protein. This is you, and you can do anything for 30 days. There's nothing special about me. Is there anything special about you that you were able to do this? Did you just have this iron willpower?
No.
You committed to it,
Yes.
and you did it.
Yes.
You can't make excuses or say my spouse isn't on board or this or that. You are a powerful human being. You can do anything for 30 days.
And do it now. Don't say, I'm going to start Monday. I'm going to start next week. I'm going to start next month. I'm going to start next year. Start now. We've all done it where we're like, okay, we're just going to have one last cheat day. What do? We all binge like crazy. And then it's even harder to quit because your stomach is so off itself and it doesn't know what to do and you're so full. And then the next day you're starving because you had so much food in you. And yeah, so my biggest tip to you is start now. Don't be like, I'm going to start Monday. Just remember, you're doing it for yourself.
Incredible, miraculous healing when you return to what is natural. So you can come back and you can thank me and Jen in 30 days, and we'll have you on our channel and we'll share your story so that you can inspire healing in other people, because so many people in the world right now are suffering and they don't need to be. And that is why we're doing this documentary, Healing Humanity. There's over 1 billion people with depression and anxiety, and it's all just nutrition. 1,600 people died today from cancer, and that number is going up. And cancer is a metabolic disease. Cancer is simply an escape from what is natural. And the more and more humanity is escaping from what is natural, the more and more people are dying from cancer every single day needlessly. And most of them, mark my words, most of that 1,600 people that died today died from the foods they were eating, because that is the most unnatural thing we are doing 3, 4, 5 times a day, every single day, chronically for years and years. So return to what is natural, and you'll heal everything, and you'll inspire other people. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to learn more about our documentary or donate to it, we're doing the documentary, and then we're doing a series forever. We're going to have a whole episode on cancer, a whole episode on depression and anxiety. We can't do it without you, without your generous donations. Please donate at donate.healinghumanity.movie. You could save somebody's life. You're investing in your future health and the future health of your children and the future generations. And every penny we get from those donations goes 100% to the documentary. I am donating all of my time, and I'm not taking a single paycheck ever, not a single penny, to do this documentary. So donate.healinghumanity.movie, and if you're interested in the membership site, proceeds from that also go to the series Healing Humanity. It's at healinghumanity.life, promo code HH24. Thanks so much for watching. You want to do the beep?
Bye, everybody.
Beep.